Sports Matters.
But a really big test. We're delighted. We're absolutely delighted because we topped the group. Our objective was to qualify. We secured that after 2 games. But today was a bigger challenge. We knew that. Going from 2 goals down, to come back and get 2 goals, show there's a bit of substance in the squad as well, and that's really important for going forward. So we're delighted with the tournament as a whole, and especially today.
The second half in particular, you really seemed to up the intensity and kind of dominate. I suppose what was the cause of that, or what was said at half time?
Not a whole lot. I think there was more. We were a bit of tentative in our play in the first half. Like they sat deep at times. They had a back 5 and they did another line of 4 in front of it. Not easy to break down, but pitch was a little bit lively at times. I thought we made a few, incorrect decisions, and maybe when we were trying to build up, not enough of the players' first touch was secure enough. So they needed to tighten up a little bit of that in the second half. But Mark's done well. He's gone and pressed the keeper. You could see it. Both boxes were very lively. It mightn't have been on for playing out all the time. And Mark read the situation well. At least we were in the game going in at half time. And Justin's popped up with a special free kick, and I think we deserved it over the full, we say, 90 minutes. I thought we had some really good play in the second half. And look, at this age or any age, the young players score really just gives them so much confidence, and they look to try and win the game, but they also had to make sure they didn't lose it, because at one stage you were finishing second in the group, and then when you got the point it was going to guarantee you to be third. So they had a bit of a learning about game management, and as we went into that last quarter of the game, so we're delighted with that as well.
You just mentioned being tentative at the start. Was that because you were already through as well, or?
No, look, it's hard to put the finger on it now straight away after it. It's something we'll just have to look back and examine. But I just thought some of our ball speed and just basic execution of controlling the ball at times was, I think the pitch contributed a little bit as well, but the players need to be a little bit tighter because the way they pressed, and if they won it, they had players in kind of, we'll say, half positions, really quick on the break, big strong physical team, explosive players. So any mistake, especially in that middle third in your own half, these teams were pouncing it. So tightened up second half. Players understood when to build and when to not take risks. So the decision making basically was just better when we were playing from the back in the second half.
You mentioned Mark as well, pressing keeper. He threatened to do that in a couple of the other games, but obviously he shows his work rate as well as his quality.
Yeah, look, that's an important part of any striker now in the game. It was on to go and press. He did it. The goalkeeper took extra touches. He got in a bit of a situation, and Mark did well. And look, he stepped up this week again. He scored again, and that's what we look for in the centre forward. Just a different type of goal, but they're all goals from him. So we're delighted for him.
Just finishing top of the group now, how important is that going to be in League?
Well, it's great for confidence. What will happen now is when all the other groups are finished in November at the end of the last international block, all the top teams and runners up, I think it's 4 or 5 of the best third place teams go into the pot. At the moment we'd be in a pot 1, so that always can be a help when you're going to a draw, because that means you might get 2 teams that finish runners up. If you finish runners up, it means you get 2 teams that finish top. But we won't worry about too much of the variable today, as we're just delighted we got through, and we're absolutely delighted as well that we didn't lose that game. So we showed a lot of substance in the team today.
And across the last game there has been stunning goals from Justin and Rocco, and I suppose thinking Kevin definitely had a huge influence as well. I suppose in terms of, I know they're all of Irish Albanian descent. I mean, I suppose there's a significance in that too, maybe just in terms of demographics and I suppose players coming through there.
Yeah, well, look, if you look at the squad, like all the players have played their football here in Ireland, bar, would say Caden, McLaughlin and Rocco, but they've been in the setup since 15s. So as they said all week and building into it, there's a lot of good work going on. Would say with our National League clubs, we just got to continue that. And if you look at the squad this week, I think 17 of the players are actually playing their football in Ireland at the moment. The challenge now, though, before we all start patting each other on the back, is basically the players will be going into an off-season soon, so that's going to be an enormous challenge for us.
When's your next camp for contact with players?
We'll do some contact time with them possibly in November, December. We might have certain days. It also opens up, no players guaranteed their squad plays come next February when we go into next double header. So everything opens up again for us. There's players that were in consideration for this squad mightn't have made it. We've players that are also in consideration that are injured. So we'll be doing kind of like training and assessment days during November, December to see where players are at. And we'll start back with them in January then as well. But places are always up for grabs, and that's something we had to speak to the players about last night as well. But for now, they're true. They should enjoy that, take a lot from it, and it's great we're in the elite phase.
And just lastly, but suppose in the last week in Irish football, there was a moment on Sunday evening you passed the ball 14 times, but then let the Kevins get a chance. Last night they were all talking about Ireland's passing move philosophy. How closely are you working with this overarching philosophy with Stephen Kenny and the other Irish coaches?
Yeah, look, we meet easily every month as head coaches with all the international teams from our under 15s right up to the senior team. We always discuss what's going on in each teams. Every international manager presents on we'll say how our style of play, how we're doing, we'll say in the functions of the game. So yeah, there's a lot of joint up thinking there. But look, if you look at our young teams over the last number of years, it's not just this year. We've been doing this for many years, and maybe now just people are sitting up taking notice of. I'm not sure. It might be that players are coming through to the senior team, but if you look at some of those players that didn't play last night or in the last number of months, they've been in this process since 15s, 17s, 19s, etc. So all those habits are there for them.
Sports Matters.